IPAs this week. That was a wild ride.
Yeah, Greg was
my dad. I think my dad said,
it.
I don't know what was wrong with Greg on that episode, but it was a good episode. Like, I don't know what's wrong with Greg Eager. He was so feisty.
He was really, when Greg gets a little in him, he likes to give you the shit. He likes to give you the shit.
He just like turns the screws me for. I'm like, I've done nothing wrong. I'm just an innocent bystander here.
Hey, quick reminder, we're friends.
Like, what's happening here, buddy?
We buddies.
Like, I didn't come at you. He's not here today.
You don't fuck with Greg, dude.
What he gets. I wasn't fucking. I don't want to.
With Greg.
Yeah, that's a preview.
Then you really don't.
You don't want to see me go to 10. Is that about an 8 there? Yeah, I'll never fuck with Matt. No thanks.
No.
Yeah, he'll lay me out. He'd probably just clothesline me and be game over.
Dude, Matt would just go like this to me.
This is the Okayest Hunter podcast.
I won't ruin it.
Never pass on shooter bucks, because that's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag. You hunt how you want. This is Okayest Hunter.
Welcome back to the Okayest Hunter podcast.
Here we go.
We're live. We're in town.
We're missing the big fuzzy bear. Greg is out on business.
Well, apparently we're not missing him that much. Can do without his shenanigans today. Maybe I'll be able to finish a sentence. He'll probably call in though. Why isn't this loading? Why isn't it ever loading?
It did that last week too.
It just takes a minute, huh? I feel like if I just keep trying, it's like going back to the refrigerator and expecting to find some new food, but it's not there. And you're like, well, I guess I'll just eat the cereal that I was going to have.
This bullshit.
I don't know. What the frick? I guess I'll just leave. I mean, I'm only doing this so you can see our guest when he comes on here.
Yeah, I don't want to see his face anyway.
I'll just leave it like that for now.
It's one of those guys. Sorry, Brent.
It is. We're brought to you by Nosler. Check out Nosler.com. Use code OHP for 20% off your ammunition needs. They are professional grade trophy ammunition. I'm just making up stuff here.
I will say, for being a professional grade trophy ammunition company, I was pretty surprised that our wonderful OHP code knocks 20%, because that's pretty hefty.
Makes it very approachable.
It's way more. It's much more similar to what you're paying for the other not so good stuff on the shelf.
Yeah.
So that was really nice.
Ammunition, and we know that we need all the help we can get, and if we can save a little money to get some of that help, that's great. So we also partner with other great brands like Muck Boot Company. Muck. I mean,
they're known as Muck.
You know Muck.
You know Muck.
Like, you probably go get a Muck boot at your local retailer. You could just buy it on their website. We do have a code there as well, OHP. I was using my Muck. I've been using the
Croc slider thingies.
Yeah, but I tried on the ankle high slip-on one. Was in the backyard hanging out my Latitude saddle.
Is that a lace up or a no lace up? That was nice.
No lace up. OHP across the board. No lace up. Just a nice little boot slipper. I like those for winter when I'm just clogging around, shoveling the driveway and stuff.
Clogging around
or ice fishing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. Rack Hub, which is right behind Derek here. If you want to do who's that girl on The Price is Right that does
Vanna
that?
White.
Vanna White. There, yes. You want to Vanna White the shit out of that thing?
I'm still going to Vanna White the shit out of my own.
Can you take it off and put it on?
I'm
talking about the antler, not.
Yeah, whatever you want me to do with your bone.
What? Pops right off.
Okay, you'll be proud of me because we've been talking about mounting a match set on the.
Because the word choices we're having here today are oddly sexual.
Come on, we could. Well, Greg's not here to yell at us. So.
Oh, it's still not loading. Okay.
I did take them. I took the Rack Hub mounting system. What is it? The RH2?
Yes, that's what you have.
I took it downstairs, so it is physically closer to the antlers I'm going to mount, but the antlers still have the same amount of holes in them.
Okay.
So I've not put them on yet. I did work on antlers today for a while while my kids played in the pool. We bought a pool from yesterday. They're on clearance at Menards. So if you're looking to get in the aquatic game, now's the time. Summer's over. Everything's on sale.
Yeah, summer. Yeah, it's basically September.
Basically back to school.
That's how it works.
So go get your pencils and your pools. And I popped the pool up, and the neighbor boys came over. They were playing. My kids were playing. So I sat out on the deck, worked on some antler repair. because I've had some for too long.
Makes
These
it-
guys deserve to have their antlers.
Yeah, it's tough when you don't have time.
They're sheds too, so they're like the guys have had them in their piles for a while, so it's not like a huge thing.
Okay.
The heads I've got, we're working on getting them back soon. So.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I saw you send me some. Yeah, I think you tagged me in like a.
I did
a whole bunch, or tagged the brand. I think we're live. It shows that we're live, but I don't. Usually, there's like a number of people popping in, and I'm not seeing that. So I don't know if like. Let me just check.
Is that why it's not on here too?
I don't know what's going on. I wonder if it's like hanging up or something.
Oh, I got a notification on my YouTube.
Did I get that?
OKS Hunter is live.
Let's see it. Is it? Maybe I'll see it here now. I can finally move on with my life. Maybe it's just this.
Should be there.
Maybe it's just this piece of crap TV. Try to search. Let's try this one more time.
OKS Hunter.
Oh yeah, that's been a while since we've done that. No, it's just still not on the TV. I don't know. I don't know why it's like that.
That's weird.
No, I'm not trying to watch a stag video.
We could.
Oh, that's the Colorado elk. I did it again.
Hey, there it is.
Fingering it.
Smedium whitetails.
There it is. So you got it there. All right. Well, I don't know. I think my TV just sucks. Maybe I'll turn it off and turn it on and see if that works. Anyway, I hate getting hung up on this kind of crap when people are trying to listen. They're probably in the car going, Jesus Christ, Eric, get it together. You know, what are you doing? Did I get everything? I mean, we talked about Racco. We talked about Spartan Forge for half a second. I haven't talked to Bill in a hot minute. I think he's been busy. I've been busy. Everyone's freaking busy. So I don't know any new updates other than like, you should probably go get in there and start plotting and scheming.
The AI thing is the big new one, right?
Yeah, the Cyber Scout is
That's
what it's called. And I can't think of much else right now. I'm getting a little brain dead. I've been up since 3:45 this morning. So it was an early start.
On purpose?
Today. Yeah, I had to take my sister to the airport.
Oh, did she fly out today?
Yeah. And here we are now. So we're going to talk whitetails, Smedium whitetails. We got a guest on as soon as I get this thing freaking figured out.
If you enjoyed the trail camera banter from last week, I'm sure there'll be a little bit of trail camera talk this week just because of our guest makes some pretty cool trail camera add-on equipment, some mounting equipment that we'll hear about. So
bring them on. Let's get you in here. What's up, buddy? We got Brian Douglas on here with Good Sit.
Finally.
Finally.
Jesus Christ.
Did you fall asleep in your car?
We were talking about those guys in their car that were like, get it together. That was me, dude.
Well, we were talking before you came on, Brian, and we were hoping that car wasn't running with like the garage door closed.
Yeah, you froze it, and I was like,
we were like, oh God.
Freezing might not be a good thing. You might have passed out. I don't know.
Send out the courtesy call.
You pan over to me and I'm dead.
Brian,
just real foggy in there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so welcome to the show. Good to have you on again.
What up, fellas? Hell yeah. Good to be back.
Oh, we got him. Never
Finally.
pass shirt. Now I see the shirt you're talking about.
There it is.
Yep.
What's good, man? You're how's everything in Illinois? What's new in your world?
Man, I don't know what's new, but definitely getting fired up for season. So, and that's like, what's that?
You must be fired up. I think I was on your story yesterday or the day before. Was there like a temperature reading on your camera while you were hanging cameras, like 107 degrees or something ridiculous?
Yeah. So I definitely did not think that one through. I got me some poison ivy already, and was out there like everything, like on those hot days. And it also seems like whenever you feel like, man, should I stay at home with the wife and kids or should I go out? And then you decide to go out. It's like the universe is like beating your ass for making the wrong decision,
That's funny.
And so like it was okayest moment after okayest moment after okayest moment. And I set out with every intention of putting out like 7 or 8 cams, and I got like 3 out. So
I was supposed to go out on Sunday and set up 2 cams, but I couldn't get one to check in.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume it's my fault. Like, I really believe it's probably my fault. And I'm waiting to hear back from tech support.
So no progress yet?
Well, I went hard into like Reddit, and I was like, I'm going to solve this on my own. Like, I did tech support for 2 years in college for this exact type of technology. And so I'm like, it's got to be, it's either the SIM card or the SD card. And I didn't do the exact SD card they recommended. It's got like a little bucket icon, and theirs recommends it with a 3. Mine has a 1 in that icon. I don't know what that means. That's the only difference. And so I'm like, okay, Well, I haven't bought a new one of those yet because the only ones that the store had were those ones with that icon. I was like, "What'll have to do?" Or it's a SIM card, and if it's a SIM card, it's out of my hands. So
Did you try putting your SD card from the one working into that one?
no, but so that's the other thing. I have another one that is working. So then I'm like, well, then it's probably the SIM card, and it's not the wrong SIM card because the other one is working. I have two, and I was like, ooh, I bet you I flip flopped the SIM cards and didn't realize it because I had everything laid on this table last week.
Mhm.
So anyway, I ended up opting just to take a rain check and say, I'm not going to go and hang one cam. Like I mean, hanging two is even kind of like mediocre at best.
Hey, that's a
But-
starting place for you, my friend. One would be great.
So I just want to get it figured out so I can go put both out, and
Yeah.
I could even be this week still. But similar, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna have a day to go out, and the weather looked terrible, and I was like, this is gonna be a regret. I was sitting in my driveway, and I was getting bombarded by mosquitoes. I'm like, I can't imagine what the swamp's gonna be like.
Yeah. So I decided on one part of the day to go to like a newer area that's like just sand and like pine and stuff like that, right? And then my wife wanted me to pick up my daughter's stuffed animal and blanket at her friend's house over by this other piece of public. So I was like, all right, well, I'll like make up for not being there by going and grabbing this stuff. So I'll go to this other piece of public, and I'm gonna run in there and I'm gonna put up some cameras and then still make it home in time for dinner. And of course, as I'm getting to the spot, giant rain clouds like right over the spot where I'm headed, right? And so I pull up and I had this spot marked, and I run in there, and it's all river bottom ground, and there's these weeds. I don't even know what they are, but they're up to my chest. Nothing's looking the same from whenever I scouted it and stuff. And I'm running in there trying to get it up, and at one point I throw the camera on, just trying to just set it, and I was just going to run out of there and just feel like I just threw the camera up and left. And all of a sudden the wind starts coming in like crazy, and trees are dropping, and I don't really know which way is which because my phone's dead. And so here's me holding a cell cam, and you can see a picture of me as I'm running. And I'm just running for a random direction that I don't even know if it's the truck.
On a cell cam.
Look at the cell cam footage I got, guys.
And I get back to the truck and I look up, it looks like tornadoes are forming and shit. And I'm like, dude, like this is my karma for not staying home is what it was.
That's intense.
And speaking of tornadoes, like you guys have had some run-ins, wasn't it? Was it last year, Brian, that was it your wife that was like pretty damn close to being in one?
She was in one. She was inside of one. So when we had the deer and turkey classic up there in Peoria, you know,
yep.
I couldn't make it up Friday, and they were calling for all these crazy storms. So a buddy of mine who had said he was going to work it was like, dude, look, he's like, you know, I got your back. He's like, but I've been in the woods during a tornado before. He's like, I don't play around with them. He's like, scared the crap out of me. So he backed out. And so I was like, honey, I got to have somebody up there. And I was kind of talking shit. I was like, you know, that they never really call that stuff right. And, you know, I was giving my buddy a hard time, you know, like, you wussy and stuff like that. Well, anyway, she gets to the Peoria Civic Center, and they immediately make everybody go into the bathroom and take cover. And I'm like, all right, maybe I fucked up. And I even made a post about her saying like, my wife's not scared of no naders and all this stuff, you know? And so I'm like, all right, honey, shoot back down 55. There's an opening in the weather. Get back down here before the next round gets in and get home to the babies, you know? And as she's coming, she can't see. She's in a whiteout, and she pulls over off on the off ramp, and an F2 tornado engulfs her car. And she can't go forward. She can't go back. She can't open her door. Stuff starts pelting her. And I'm on the phone with her at work, and I hear her screaming and dropping the car or dropping the phone and freaking out. So obviously I run out the door acting like I'm going to chase and beat a tornado, you know, 20 minutes away, which was not going to happen. And the box truck behind her got flipped up in the air and tore up to pieces, and their dog died. So kind of crazy.
Holy shit.
No,
yeah.
You got to have something in a box truck so it doesn't fly away like that.
And she said, and so for her birthday, we got her a bike helmet as her tornado helmet.
Oh my God. Dude, that's some wild shit. I've never even seen a tornado.
No, me either.
It's never, I mean, they're around. It happens. The warnings come all the time. And every time I'm like, I don't want to go to the damn basement with all these kids and animals. It's hard enough to keep them contained in the upper part of the house.
Yep.
And then they're in here busting wires and pushing buttons and pulling deer off the wall and like running around like maniacs. I'm like, and then there's never a tornado.
Well,
So,
and tornadoes are nothing to joke about. I'm not making light of it here.
right.
But we did have, and I've maybe told this before, but it would have been a while ago, but we had a huge storm up by the cabin, northeastern Wisconsin. It was not a tornado. It was, they called it like straight line windstorm, straight line winds of over 100 miles an hour. And that was the year that I talked my dad into, hey, let's get our cams up super early this year because we had some good deer to chase. So that was my trail cam mishap is we hung, I think it was 24 cameras before July 4th. Normally we're like after July 4th, that's when we go hang them.
Yeah.
But I talked them into hanging them early and like they were up for 3 or 4 days. And then this huge windstorm came through and it leveled, thousands, tens of thousands of acres of woods. So we had to go out and try to collect our damn cameras in that. Talk about things looking different when there's no tree standing for like 700 yards. Oh my God. We found all of them. And only one of them was damaged and it was ripped off a tree by a bear the day after I hung it. It was the only one damaged. Otherwise, all the other ones survived. But it was just, that was the hardest thing. It took, that one camera took us 5 hours to get to. Just because of, it was nothing but blowdowns, right?
Dude, I would have given up.
So you're going under, you're going over, we got all of them.
Damn.
That's
yeah, Brian, you've seen, we came to get you.
Do you know how fast
the shit I dragged my dad through? I feel so bad.
Yeah, I know. Every time I think back on that night to Doug, I'm like, dude, I'm like, whenever I get adrenaline going, I become such a selfish piece of shit, I feel like, because I'm like, I can't think of anything but like the deer. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Love you, Dad.
Yeah, thanks, Doug.
Dude, I get that way with my kids when we're out. Like we were doing morel mushroom hunting, and I get like a one-track mind, or I get in that one gear, and I'm like, no, let's just keep going. Like I want to find one. This isn't that's not that hard. We can figure this out. We'll find one. And then, like my wife's like, the kids didn't eat, they didn't nap. Like we are miles away from the car. You want to keep? Are you crazy? You still have to go all the way back.
At that point, your wife thinks you're the stupidest person
on the kids. Like they're screaming. Like,
hey, is it really a trip with your family if you aren't screaming at your kids, like pissed off? Like I feel like that's not even really a trip.
I can't stop. I just keep going. I have a problem.
So I took my family to a bedding area to go get a quick, easy camera this year, right? in air quotes. And so here we are trying to beat the sun going down on a thicket bedding hill with my 2-year-old daughter screaming her head off, me holding her going through it. Pretty sure we get lost at one point, and my wife and kid are playing in the creek with the dog while I'm screaming like uncontrollably. And eventually we took a picture on this hill, and she lost her phone in the middle of a thicket while we're trying to get this camera before dark and shit. So anyway, yeah, I understand the pain of trying to have a fun family time.
I have to share. I just had bourbon go into my nose. Like when you get pool water up your nose, like the pool that just happened with bourbon. That was very burny. Anyway, we put a GoPro on my daughter one year.
I like where this is going already.
I have the footage. It's terrible. I was like, oh, you could see my problem firsthand. Like, you want to see my toxic trait? Watch the GoPro footage of my daughter's chest. I think she was like 4-ish, or maybe going to be 4. And her younger brother was 1.5 years, too, before our third was born. And she got stuck in like pricker bushes. And she's like, Dad. And I'm like, yeah, just keep going. Like, you're fine. You're fine. Your mom's right there. And like Holly was nowhere near her. And then like we watched the footage back and it was like, wow, this would be really sad. Like she looks like a kid lost in the fucking. She's like singing to herself. She's just singing to herself and like, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. Just like this, it looks like I was like torturing my daughter or something.
You helped her learn self-soothing.
And I was like, this is so cool. Put a GoPro on her. Like, how fun to see her point of view, walking through the woods. And I watch it back. I was like, this can never see the light of day. I'll go to child services or something. I should show it to her someday. It was pretty funny.
But hey, at least we're all working to get the kids out into the woods.
Yeah.
It's always the best when you get home and you're like, wasn't that fun, guys? And they're like,
My wife's like, I hate you. Yeah.
yeah.
Something's wrong with you.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but my wife was talking to the kids the other day and asking what their favorite thing to do. Oh, maybe it was for Father's Day. They were making a card, and she said, "What's your favorite thing to do with Dad?" And Penny, our 4, almost 5-year-old, said, "Exploring new trails, hiking, exploring new trails with Dad." I was like, "Whew, I'll remember that." You ready for some bedding areas in Illinois? I know a guy. That's just stinging nettle. Those are just multiflora rose bushes. That's just poison ivy. Let's go. Keep going.
I can't do the I had stinging nettle in my backyard at our house, and I didn't know that's what it was, and I was just, dude, it felt like I got into a fight with carbon fiber, like those carbon fiber shreds or whatever, that'll get you. That's what it feels like. It was terrible.
We just talked about stinging nettle. I taught the kids about it because this past weekend I brought them to what's it called, Harrington State Park. It's like right along the bay, or sorry, Lake Michigan. We just went there for the day to go explore, and we took the woods trail. Everyone's going to the beach, and kids wanted to go through the woods, and there was deer tracks. So Gus is following the deer tracks, and they go across this little waterway, and there's a huge patch of stinging nettle, and all of a sudden he's about to follow the deer tracks into it. I'm like, buddy, don't go in there. That's stinging nettle. And we look at all the little spikes on there, and then they were all browsed completely down to like 1.5 feet. So I was telling him, how can a deer put that in its mouth, but you touch it and it bothers you for 2 days? And he's like, God, he thought it was really interesting. So we followed.
Do you have an answer to that question?
How do they do it?
Yeah,
they're not little bitches like us.
I keep losing you guys, man.
You're back. Oh, you gotta check your.
I'm running. So just so everybody knows, I am in my truck with my laptop with an external video mic. My phone hooked up to a different charger with the hotspot going.
And in the midst of explaining this daisy-chained technology setup that'll give us a run for our money, he's frozen again.
Daisy-chained was a nice word there.
There's another word that wouldn't be his choice.
Yeah, I know which one that one is too. That's why I said daisy-chained was a nice choice of word.
It's like ghetto rig. I mean, that would work, I think.
There's a few different ones.
Yeah. All right. Let's see how this works, man. Let's see what your what's it called? The hotspot? Is that thing getting too hot in the spot?
Yeah, my phone, I'm hotspotting to my computer because for some reason my Wi-Fi is not working just from the garage to the inside of the house. So I don't know what's going on, but everything's fighting me today.
We're making do. It's okay. Should have been here in studio, but
one day. One day.
We got to plan it better so you can actually take like a day or something to come up here, and then we can snoop and poop around here in the Wisconsin public land or something, and go hang trail cameras and tornadoes or whatever we're gonna do.
Yeah, I'd love to drag Brian into some of our areas.
Now us little prissy Illinois boys, we can't handle the Northwoods now.
Glad you said it.
The Northwoods are no. I'm not a Northwoods guy anymore. Like, it's been over a decade.
It's in your heart.
It's in my heart. That's what got me there.
My buddy Gary Gruno always reminds me of it too. That it's way tougher up there.
You gonna ever come up and hunt with Gary?
So everybody tries to get me to go to all the other places, and I just don't like. I have such limited time, man. It's I never get 2 days off in a row unless I take my vacation, and then I'm not going to waste 2 of those days driving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear
you. I get that.
That's the number one reason I'm playing in your backyard is being a teacher and only having weekends to hunt. I had to have somewhere that was within reasonable driving range. So that's the reason you and I started talking years ago in the first place, was me hitting you up being like, hey, I scouted this public and this public. They're shit. Where should I go?
It's always funny too, because not that you did this, but as you go on, especially in social media, you get people hitting you up and going, hey man, I'm not asking for exact coordinates, but what do you think of this area? And I'm like, oh yeah, that looks like a good area. And but when I tell them yeah, there you go, no fibs allowed. So my buddy told me about the fib thing, and I called Gary and I said, hey bro, I said, me and you've been friends for a little while now. I said, is this for real? Is this what you guys call us? And him and his wife started busting out laughing. She's like, yeah, that's what we call you. You're a fucking Illinois bastard.
You seem pretty nice to us. We'll let it slide. But I think he froze again. Damn, that connection is soft. It's a soft, floppy
It's like
connection.
a 2-bar hotspot.
Heard of a 2-pump chump. I don't know what
I've been to some 2-star bars that have been hot spots.
That's good.
I'm just going to keep popping in and out of the conversation here.
You're here. You came back. All right. I don't know. We're just kind of like going wherever here. Smedium whitetails is the topic. I'm definitely after a Smedium whitetail this season.
Smedium?
Mm-hmm. I do want to see what'll get on. Like I'm going to be, if I get those cell cams hung and operational and they start picking up photos, I'm just going to be happy with that. Like, that's enough to keep me happy. You guys, I really don't need much to be happy in the deer woods.
That's wonderful.
It's so limited for me. Like, or not limited. It's so, that's not the right way to say it. It's so, I don't know, something. It doesn't take much. The bar is low.
Now, along those same lines, as far as your bar, your standard for the season, Brian, and what you and I have talked about off of here a little bit, sounds like you're exploring maybe some somewhat new to you ground. Is that kind of what's making you excited this season, or what do you got going on this season? What's the thing that's getting
I don't want to say I'm bored with hill country, but I feel like I've got a pretty good grasp on it. And so I really want to branch out and kill some deer in different terrains. So like marsh stuff, swamp stuff, prairie stuff, sandy stuff. I like branched out from anything I was comfortable with, and I'm just going out and just exploring stuff that I would never normally do, because before I never wanted to leave big deer to go find big deer. But even if I have to drop the level of antlers that I'm willing to shoot, I want to get a little bit more of like that conquering new ground stuff.
That's like prestiging in Call of Duty. You hit to the top, you get all the best weapons, all the best stuff, and you're like, do I want to prestige and start back at square one again?
Right.
Yeah,
then when you do, by the time you do it again, you get even more shit.
You got more skills.
Yeah, you get better.
Yeah.
I always thought that was kind of fun. Like that sounds like you're prestiging. That's what's happening here.
Yeah. Well,
why?
I just know that if I sit long enough in the right spots in hill country, that I'm at least going to have opportunities. So it almost feels like, all right, what's the other ways that I can expand stuff that I want to do, you know?
Well, I was going to ask when you were explaining that, and I think you might have just answered it now. I was going to say, what is it you have figured out about hill country that makes you so confident that you're like, no.
Yeah.
Like, what the dude, I think Bo Martonic has a whole podcast on this topic and produces hill country, what is it called? Big Buck Mondays or
Mountain Buck Monday?
Mountain Buck Monday. Thank you. I
listen to Bo's podcast all the time. I love that podcast.
And I'm not begging on him. I'm just saying he's got content, a limitless mountain of content about this topic. Like, and here you are. No, I gotta go crank it up, bruh.
Brian's bored.
Well, I guess when I hear myself say it out loud, I sound douchey saying that, but I wasn't basically
we're just making you douchey. It's us, not you.
The hill country I hunt is like wussy territory compared to what Bo and Johnny Stewart and all those guys are hunting, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've been out to PA to hunt with those guys on that vet hunt 3 years ago, whatever it was. The shit year was that? 2021?
That was a while ago already. Holy cow.
Oh, what's happening to the time? Anyway, it was not figure outable. But I did see someone else's trail cam. I was like, the shit? So, but that's because
probably Steve Shirks.
Johnny told me exactly where to go. He literally called us Spartan Forge. He's like, this is the tree. I was like, okay, Johnny. I'm not going to question this at all. I have no fucking clue where I am. So,
yeah. As I say, if he said that in his area, I would listen.
Yeah, it's a big area. It's a big area. I mean, it very much felt like the Northwoods of Wisconsin. I could just see a little further because there were more of those hills more going on. Yeah. I think the Northwoods had some of that, but it's not as
no, they have mountains out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 1,000, 2,000 feet elevation. In northern Wisconsin. We're dealing with like hundreds of feet.
Yeah, we're at like here in Illinois, it's like 450 to like 800.
Yeah, you got some big hills.
I was gonna say there's some places where you get into the 750 and 800, you're wishing you had spent a little more time on the treadmill when you get to the top of those.
I wish that every year.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I've done that. Reading topo maps in Wisconsin. Topo maps are topo maps. There's hills. I went down to Illinois hunting a different piece of public just north of Bryan. And I went down for a late season hunt. And I had this spot picked out. I had my access picked out. I was going to work through this creek bottom, come up this real steep part onto this nice CRP top bedding area, come in the backside in the morning. I hiked down there in the dark super early. Those topo lines couldn't have been stacked tighter. It was a freaking 150-foot cliff. Like you couldn't go up. It was literally just a rock cliff. So I ended up like walking an extra 3/4 of a mile around the other side, hiking up, but there was some serious topography there I was not ready for.
I did, dude. That's actually a little dangerous. By the time November rolls around, I'm pretty out of shape. Like the running has stopped. I've been eating like a pig. I'm ready for Thanksgiving.
Gas station food, quick trip.
Yeah, exactly. With the quick trip, sure. And I got too into like the tactic side of things for a hot minute there, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna drive these deer that are hanging on this bluff. I'm gonna drop down to the bottom, and the incline was so gradual for so long that by the time I got to the bottom, I'm looking at a cliff. And I'm like, I'm gonna climb up, and any deer that are hanging out at the rear end of this plot of land, I'm gonna push back towards where all my buddies were. And in my brain, I'm like, this is foolproof. It was a foregone conclusion. This is how it's gonna go. So I get up on this like rock face cliff thing. I just spit. And I'm in like my blaze orange jumpsuit, like the Michelin Tire Man, in 10 layers with a freaking rifle on my shoulder with these huge boots. And I'm like, and I'm like holding on to trees. And if I let go, I'm going to drop to my fucking death. But I will say this was the neatest thing I encountered. There were like mountain goat deer tracks on these tiny shelves. They were beds in tiny spots along trees. And it took me like 2 hours to get up this stupid thing. I was drenched in sweat underneath my orange blob. I finally got up to the thing and I was like, all right, here we go. I'm going to drive deer. Nothing happened. There were no deer, but they were there at one point. And like, they were definitely on this like steep edge, not participating in anything, probably staying the hell away from anyone. I'm like, if I was really smart, I just came down in the morning, would have shot them from fucking down here, and they would have just rolled down the hill to me. Anyway,
you live and you learn.
Buck beds, you know, they.
Well,
it was a crazy thing.
Spot I was just talking about when I finally found my way up, and I'm climbing up a thing that has like "Don't climb" signs on it, right? But I like have my tree stand on my back, all my sticks, my backpack, my cold weather gear because it's like December 30th.
Okay, right, you understand.
And I'm climbing up this freaking cliff, and I'm, the danger, death, falling rock on your head signs are there. I finally got up there, picked a tree. I didn't see a single deer, but I got down from that tree and just wanted to like walk around. I walked 50 yards, and there was a dead, probably about 150-inch 9-point.
What?
Laying there. So I was like, oh, I did pick a good buck bedding area. He's just already dead. He was all picked over, so he must have died early.
Wish I would have killed that one.
And then that's the spot that I went to either the next year or the following year in October. And I had a really nice 10-pointer come into my scrape, almost killed him on camera. But my camera kept sliding because the tree wasn't level. And I tried elbowing it when I was at full draw, and he saw me and he buggered out. But it was the right spot.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out.
It's exciting when that happens.
Sometimes it be's like that, don't it?
It's usually like that. It's how it is.
We have a lot of confidence in our hill country.
Yeah.
Here, the Midwest. That's not I hunt that area that I hunt. It's the western. It's where the Mississippi meets the Wisconsin. It's bluff.
That's
country.
bluff country.
It's
where you're
bluff
at
country.
for gun season, right?
I wouldn't say it's hill. It's bluff for gun season. Yeah. So you get some really good shots because you can see forever. Like I think my buddy Joel took a 500-yard shot. It was pretty cool. I mean, he's a good shot too. He's great. So that was you can snipe the shit out of them up there if you can pick them off. And they're running through stuff because it's gun. Like there's orange everywhere. So anyway, What do you got there, Brian? I cut you off, probably.
No, you're good, buddy. I tend to cut people off because I get excited about this stuff. So,
We'll just cut each other off. It's all right.
Like I told you guys before the podcast, I'm about half chub here, just excited about season coming up. So,
that's kind of what I put out a thing the other day. And just like that, that's all I could think about was whitetails. Like, I was like, dude, I don't know how else to explain. I showed my wife. She's like, yeah, I'm mad at you. I'm like, you're mad at me? She's like, you've been fidgeting with trail cams all day. My mom was here. My sister's in town. I'm setting up, my saddle on the stand and shooting my bow in the backyard. And she's like, really? This is what you're doing? I was like, I don't know. Everyone's just sitting here. What am I going to do? Like, I got to do something. What better time off of work? Let's go. Let me go shoot my shit. My arm is fucked, by the way.
Was it pretty tough drawing your bow?
So bad. What
are you going to do?
I don't know. I have one more session with my physical therapist who's dry needling the shit out of my arm. Thought I was making improvement. I've been doing little PT exercises that are super awkward.
Were you supposed to be drawing a bow from a saddle in your backyard?
No.
Probably not.
But like, what am I going to do? That's the objective here.
Right.
And it's not good. It's like, I go back and my brain's like, oh God, it's going to not work. Keep going. Ow. Pooh, shoot. Got it. Okay, let's try that a couple more times.
What is your bow set at right now?
I don't know. I gotta take it. Whatever it's at, it's got to go lower. I can't do it.
Don't do that anymore, ding dong. Don't do that.
It's really bad.
Don't do that.
My wife's like, "What are you gonna do? Not hunt this year?" I was like, "Well, that's not gonna happen."
Yeah, that doesn't even enter the situation or the conversation there, honey.
Yeah.
Not hunt.
I'll tell you guys. Way back when I snapped my ankle back in like 2009, and it was in like July, and of course all I could think about was, oh shit, my season. Well, my wife was like nursing me back to health, and so the second that I got the boot on away from the cast, here I am back when I used to hang permanent stands, got permanent stand over my back, bunch of sticks, and I'm on like a crutch climbing a tree on one foot and stuff. And she was livid, dude. Like, she's like, if you would have rebroke your foot, I would have left your ass. I was like, well, honey, I was like, I've been laid up for 3 months. I was like, I got to do something. I can't just sit here. So
I'm actually more worried about climbing the tree and
with your shoulder.
Yeah. Like gripping onto things. There's just certain fail points that once it fails, it just fails.
Use your lineman's belt.
If I held my phone out right now and like try to do something, that phone might as well be a 50-pound dumbbell.
What is the problem? Is it your labrum?
I don't know. They said I have a pinched nerve inside of my elbow.
Oh, it's your elbow.
And then it's been that way for so long that it's now created a whole mess of other issues. And so now it's my shoulder. It's like my shoulder, my tricep, my elbow, and my forearm.
Injury untreated for so long. Yeah, this definitely sounds like a man problem.
Yeah. But I'm like, I didn't do anything. I don't like what the fuck happened, Like, it's not like I can point to a single scenario and be like, oh, yeah, it was just, hauling this. Nothing happened. I'm just stupid and old.
Have you seen those reels where it's like, you never go to the hospital, you just die, be a man?
Put me out of my misery.
Yep.
I'm done. It's a problem, though. I don't know. I lack empathy until I'm through something. Like, I have a hard time putting myself in other people's shoes, even though I try. And I'm like, oh yeah, freaking Nancy, your back hurts. And oh, you're showing up bullshit. Tough it out. And now I'm like,
just keep going.
I'm like, wow, I think my rotator cuff is like actually not functioning.
You can shoot a crossbow,
right? I might have to.
Entertaining that idea?
I am. There's only one I'm thinking about. It's the Raven R19. I think it's like this micro crossbow, super portable, super light, accurate, fast, quiet, all that stuff.
There you go.
It's the only thing I think I could actually get into a saddle, like without lugging around. Those things are heavy, man. Otherwise, so if I need to, I'll get one of those.
They're bulky.
Yep. It's gonna be.
People always talk about them in a bad light, but I always think, man, one, like you said, they're heavy, but two, that second shot is almost impossible if you need to make one.
Well, I never get a second one anyways. Like, who am I kidding?
Yeah, me too. That's a fair point.
It's a good argument, though.
Yeah, it sounds good in theory, but it's like it's not. Is it the R? Oh, it's the. See if I can pull it up here. I'm trying to find it.
I know what you're talking about because they got it at our shields there. I always pick them up and look at them.
It's the R18. I was wrong. I said it wrong. I want to see if I can get up on their site just because I don't know the cost.
It's like $1,700 or something.
It's probably a lot you're probably not wrong about.
I feel
that.
like $1,700 for a crossbow is like mid-grade nowadays.
If you look at this thing, it looks.
Because don't they have like? Doesn't Raven have some like $3,000 crossbows?
I mean, they're the pinnacle of it. Of like,
They're just wild.
yeah, it's intense. How do I share my freaking screen share?
I was giving our buddy Bo, Bilo,
yeah.
Ghost Bucks. I was giving him a hard time a little bit earlier this spring because he said he's thinking about buying a crossbow for his boys. They're getting old enough to start dabbling and then start hunting. He's like, I just want to make it easy for him. I was like, screw that. I'm making my kid climb up 5 sticks with 8ers. He's going to be slinging a freaking wooden bow. I'm going to punish his ass. That's it?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that doesn't even look like a crossbow.
You could fit that into your saddle. And then it's 330 feet per second, 6 pounds only, 25 inches in length, draw force, 12 pounds vertical cams. Like
330 feet per, that's pretty fair.
So, this would be the one, I think. But I'm just not trying to shoot it. I'm not begging anyone that is shooting one, but I feel like I'm 38. I shouldn't have to are my shoulders really giving out? Am I at that? Is that what's happening to me? I'm more frustrated. Just
people die of heart attacks at 38, bro.
Well, maybe I'll be one of them when I have a heart attack that I can't.
Maybe when you make that payment, you'll have.
Yeah. Don't worry, I can use Sezzle. Buy now, pay later.
Ooh.
Okay, internet.
Put her on the Cabela's card.
Praying on me.
Earn me some free fishing lures.
Yeah, I think it was a lot more when it was trying to bundle all the stuff together. But anyway.
Bundle. I learned about that before the podcast started.
There you go. See, did you just roll the window up so you don't get carbon monoxide poisoning?
Actually, it increases the quickness of the death. So
that's how exhilarating this podcast is. We're putting Brian to kill himself.
Chlorophyll, more like borophyll.
Once I saw you were going to a crossbow, I just offed myself, man.
You see the seatbelts wrapped around his neck in a real weird way.
Yeah, wait, autoerotic asphyxiation on okay as Hunter.
You did say you had a chubby before.
I
took a weird context after
I don't know why.
the chubby comment.
It's always weird, it's always got this tinge of gayness to it, but in a I love you man kind of way, like the movie.
So Brian, I'm going to be coming down.
Just like man, we're
we're getting off of that. Poor Brian,
getting off of it.
Oh, shut the hell up!
You and your pogo stick.
Getting off.
I live all day in the uncomfortable space. Like my whole job is being uncomfortable, like comfortable in the uncomfortable. So.
If when we do come down this summer, because I do plan on coming down and hanging some cameras and doing some scouting, I do request that your cousin, the other Brian, make an appearance.
Well, that's totally up to his old lady. So we'll leave that up to Mama Johnson there.
I mean, she owes me. I did a couple drawings for her, so Mama Johnson owes me.
I was gonna say the drawing that you did for me too, man. Holy shit, that thing's amazing.
Look at the one he did for me.
I
think he did that for himself, but I have it here.
You stole it.
Yeah.
No, it was a gift.
Mind if it was a gift, Todd?
It was a gift. Painting was a gift. Taking it with me. No, your cousin Brian Andrews called into the podcast. I mean, he's called in a couple times, but the one night
I don't even really like him. I have to keep him around for like dragging purposes. So
that's bullshit. He didn't even drag that deer. All he did was hold your deer's head up so the antlers wouldn't hit a tree.
I will say I want to get this out there.
That's like the equivalent of a girl holding the wedding dress up.
Yeah, exactly.
Derek did most of the dragging, and I'm holding on and like acting like I'm dragging right next to him, And
you were
every once in a while you got to throw in some like and some ergodurgas and stuff like that to make it seem like you're you're trying. But I had the Mighty Mouse with me.
I just kept looking at Brian like, no, not this Brian, but I mean his cousin. He's played big, football.
Yeah, he's
like,
a big man.
He's a big fucking man.
I've heard this.
Yeah.
When are you gonna pick it up, Brian? I was like, well, I got to hunt in the morning. Let's go.
I will say I shot a deer at his cabin, our family cabin, a long time ago when me and him first started hanging out and stuff. And I went in there, I shot this deer, and they pull up with their truck. He jumps out, grabs it by the horn, and literally throws it up into the back. I swear, one-handed. Dude's so big.
He's a big man. Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Shout out to Brian. I was just giving him a hard time, but
How
Yeah,
many
me
how
too.
many kids does he have?
2.
He called in on that one.
They're both young.
Did
right?
he call him? He's like, I got both kids in the store right now, and it's my birthday, and I'm like, 3 sheets to the wind or something like that.
Yeah, he was on beer like number
Okay.
19.
That's who, I remember this. That's I'm trying to make sure it's the same person.
you should see the Snapchats I get when he's on beer 19.
Yeah, he called it. He had some good stories. No one knew what he was talking about, but it was good.
It was good.
That's all right.
I feel like he called in like after some other story that was a little bit more somber and serious, and then he like totally changed the mood of the
Because he
podcast,
like hadn't.
which helped. It was great, but it was
That sounds about right.
we get a
Good.
lot of callers that'll call in, and this isn't a beg on the because like the phone line's open right now. You want to call in it, the phone line's open. It's 262-757-4122. You can jump in, but sometimes people will call in and they haven't been listening, and so there's no.
It has
comment.
nothing to do with it.
They're like, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I want to tell you the story about this corn pile. I'm like,
We have a guest from like an anti-baiting.
talking about cell cams, they're like, talk about this fishing story. I'm like, all right. It's usually Greg Tubbs that calls in with the fishing story.
But the callers are always great.
No, it truly is.
I kind of miss that prank caller we used to get.
We had that.
I know
guy
you
from
got him
Florida.
blocked out of there, but
No, he's still not blocked.
that was a lot of fun.
Oh, look at that. We have a caller right now. Did I miss a caller already? I did. Oh, who is this? Oh, I know who this is. It says, hey, it's me.
Is it Noah?
What's up, Noah? Wait. I got to turn the volume up. Hold on, Noah. Hold on. I keep forgetting I'm turning the volume down.
We
on
haven't
purpose.
heard you yet, Noah, so you can redo your.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, I know you guys talk about hunting stories, but here's a fishing story for me.
Well played, sir.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. See what you did there.
Oh,
No, my first question for today is, what's the... Sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback from you on my end.
All right. Well, I don't know how to fix that. I don't know what to do anymore.
I'll try to go through my own cringiness voice. Yeah, I don't know what my joke was gonna be there.
What's the flying velocity of a swallow?
There is that.
That's an old Monty Python joke. Sorry, guys.
What's the
Showing my age.
promo code for Quick Trip now?
Oh, wouldn't that
good
be nice?
question.
I don't know.
Good question.
If everybody could just start DMing Quick Trip and be like, I saw you guys on the OKS Hunter podcast,
Tell your friends.
and we'll see what happens. All we have now is a couple can koozies and sweatshirts. So, which I'm very happy with.
Not gonna lie, I wore the T-shirt the other day. Very comfortable.
Yeah, it's legit.
I'm not sure what event I'm supposed to wear a Quick Trip T-shirt to, but
I wore I have a red T-shirt Quick Trip shirt that I wore on the 4th of July because I had blue shorts, that red shirt, and I had a white hat or something like that. I was like, oh, this works. Red, white, and blue. And I walked into some like BP and some other patrons like, I can't believe you're gonna wear that shirt in this BP. I was like, I had no idea what they were talking
it's
about.
a gas station.
I
Bro.
was like, what? And they're like, Quick Trip? You're wearing that into here? I was like, I mean, yeah, I like Quick Trip better than this shithole. Are you kidding me? This is just where I'm stuck by right now. And it says Quick Trip, the milk in a bag kind of store.
Sorry, I had to walk through your BP and clean it up by getting 18 cigarette butts on my shoe.
Yeah. Let me
I've never heard of brand loyalty to a gas station, but
Let me get some hemp while I'm here.
Welcome to Wisconsin, Brian.
BP.
That's how we
There you
roll.
go.
that's almost like the Lone Wolf Custom Gear Beast, like guys,
Oof.
having the issues.
Quick Trip versus Casey's. That's about
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be much better than a Quick Trip versus BP.
Yeah, BP's not
BP,
BP's
get the
like,
hell out of here.
BP, I don't even know what brand of the hunting
Go
category
spill
I
some
would
more
compare
oil
it
in the
to.
ocean.
Yeah. Fuck you, BP. Environmental pieces of shit. What I'm not wearing is a BP shirt.
I'm gonna
Fuck
talk shit.
BP. Hey,
I'm
fuck
gonna-
BP.
I don't mind Casey's. I really do like Casey's.
We stopped at a Casey on the way back from that trade
yeah,
show.
I don't. But my Dave, whenever we go on a trip, especially to Illinois,
Yeah.
Dave loves Casey's pizza. And Casey's pizza, don't get me wrong, one slice is, 1,000 calories because it's greasy as shit, and it's great. But he wants to like buy a Casey's pizza. I can't do that, dude. That rips me off.
Dude, Quick Trips. So
It
here's
rips me up.
you want my hot take for the week? Go to Quick Trip.
You can call them. They'll cook a
they
pizza.
can. Yeah, they'll do that. But if you get their chicken, their fried chicken, I got their fried chicken. I made some like Bob Evans mashed potatoes. Got some corn.
That's the good stuff.
And I did a KFC
That's
bowl.
a dad dinner.
A KFC bowl.
That's a dad
Quick
dinner
Trip
right
chicken.
there.
It was great. What's that gas station in Texas? The with the beaver on it. That's got
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
The great big ones.
It's known for their clean bathrooms, and it's no joke.
I've never been to one.
Dude,
Noah, have you been to one?
24/7. It's amazing.
Buc-ee's.
Yeah, you been to
I've
one?
been to a Buc-ee's. Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to get one in DeForest.
Oh.
Well, aren't you,
Guess where I'm
Mr.
gonna
Big
go.
Shit?
Conversation stopper.
Well, now I'm coming to the forest.
I didn't know we were bragging now.
What does Illinois have? Loves?
Yeah, we got Loves, we got Casey's.
Loves
I'm trying
looks
to think.
neat. What's it like? I've never been in one.
Yeah.
Like a BP. Fuck Loves. Your heart's shoving up your ass.
We were
Who names a gas station Loves? Like it's not a fucking diaper.
dude, I'll never forget. This was a bit of a culture shock thing because I thought Illinois, like, huge bucks in Illinois, right? Like, let's let the cat out of the
170.
cat's out of the bag. There are bigger deer in Illinois.
All right, you say so.
There are, and how do you think Brian's had so much success?
Are there just more of them? What's not the next? Is it like the next Iowa? What are you saying? Here?
No. I'm just saying it's good. It's like Western Wisconsin. It's good. Okay, there are good spots. There are bad spots. But I assume
You
that
found all
like
the
the
bad
hunting culture was pretty freaking normal. But this was many years ago, 7 years ago, probably 8 years ago. Went down there with two buddies. My buddy Lane shoots a nice 8-pointer, probably a 2-year-old. It's the last morning that we're hunting. We're leaving at noon. Shoots it in the morning. Nice 8-pointer. Nothing magical, but real nice buck. We're all happy. Throw it on the car. We stop at a Culver's, Northern Illinois, on our way back. There was a crowd of about 40 people standing around that buck. Oh my God, look at this buck. Guys, there's a deer over here on this guy's car. There was like a field trip that came over to observe it. We did not believe
It's like
it.
the DNR one that starts talking.
No one, and then when they came in and we're all like wearing camo, have blood all over our arms. And they're like, did you guys shoot that? We did. My gosh, that's amazing, and like people just had all kinds of questions, and I was like, Wisconsin people would be like, yeah, should have won another year.
Yeah.
I got kind of a funny story to piggyback on that.
No, wait, hold on. No, are you still here? Did you get to answer your question yet?
Yeah, I'm still here.
What was
Oh,
what was the
shit.
question, Noah? I know you had
I had no idea no it was there.
No, I just had those jokes, and then I'm ready for deer season 2 because
attaboy.
right after calling last week about the trail cams, guess what? I had more trail cam issues.
With cell cams or what?
What are you running again?
This is still that Exodus that I was trying to deal with.
All right.
That rival. Brian, hold on to your story.
Yeah,
Hold it.
it just started picking up every single piece of movement just randomly.
What's the sensitivity set to? Can you adjust that?
No, it was medium, and I'm telling you, it's been
Medium.
working fine for
Medium.
months. No
Medium.
really extra pictures or anything, just out of nowhere. I'm getting right at noon. It says, "Oh, you have 6 pictures." I'm like, "Well, that's a problem." And then the next day, "Oh, you have 600 new pictures."
Oh,
I'm like, "Okay, this is an issue."
did you say 600?
So I'm trying to go in, trying to lower the sensitivity settings, put it on the lowest I could. Still sending me like 600 pictures a day.
Oh my gosh.
I look, I'm like, okay, I might need to turn off. I was hoping it would just stop sending me pictures, like I'd go over my data usage. I look down at my data usage on it, and it's like, oh, you're 200% over. You might want to go check your plan so you don't get overage fees.
We've automatically upgraded you to our premium ultra infinity plan.
And I'm like, what do you mean overage fees? Just stop sending me pictures.
When I have the unlimited plan. I subscribed to the unlimited plan. I did annual because I was like, I'm not gonna. I'll
You don't even have any cameras up.
Well, I
What
turned
the
them on because
hell?
I thought I was going to hang them on Sunday.
has
So I had to
nothing.
get everything up.
This guy's got unlimited. He's got no cameras.
I got a lot of my kids and me looking at this damn fucking camera.
Everyone on this call has cameras except for you, and you're the only one with unlimited.
And I don't do the unlimited plan either. I do the cheapest possible shit. What a Richie Rich over here.
Quick Trip is really sponsoring your ass.
Hey, I eat a lot of Quick Trip come hunting season. I stop there at every single.
Greg's not here to give you a hard time, so I'm picking up his slack.
Thank God. Well, look, man, I didn't think much of it because I'm like, hey, this seems affordable. Like, if you do the annual pricing, you get that discount. And I'm like, let's just get it done. Let's just rip the duct tape off my hairy arm, you know?
Dude, I get 4 pictures a month, so it doesn't matter.
But here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna be a Noah. I'm gonna get 800 pictures of a fucking blade of grass because I don't.
Can I ask Noah a question about it?
Yeah, fire away, Brian.
Noah, what kind of area are you trying to monitor, and how do you have your camera positioned?
One's been on one of my main food plots. It's just probably waist to chest height.
Are you facing direct sunlight a lot?
Yeah, it is pointing west, but it's not the sunsets that's been giving me issues today.
No, but what I'm saying is a lot of the times, especially on maybe not your high-end cameras, you need to go to an area where it stays shaded all day and adjust your sensitivity down to low during the summer.
Yeah, it is.
If you have grass if you have grass or weeds or beans that get a lot of like heavy light that's going to change your exposure a lot, that's how you're going to get a lot of those false triggers. So unless you have a camera that's specifically set up to not get those, you need to move it back in somewhere where it's shaded all day.
Why don't they tell you this stuff?
Go grab a T-post, hammer it into your food plot just south of where your camera is, and face that sucker north, and you won't get any false triggers.
Yeah. I mean, facing it north will help, but
Brian said,
if you have something super white that will immediately change the exposure and it moves, that's where you're going to get a lot of those false triggers.
Derek, as an art teacher who teaches photography, do you automatically think of shadows and light when you're hanging trail cams? Because as someone taking photography, you have to think of like, how is the shadow and the light going to affect or impact my
It's the same way you would light meter a photo in exactly what Brian's talking about. Brian's absolutely nailing it. What he's saying is that if you have a spot that's going to be moving, grass, anything taller than knee to mid thigh high, I'm short, so go mid thigh, knee on a normal person. But if you have stuff that's going to be moving and that's in direct sun and it's somewhere in front of your camera's going to shoot that all day. Most cameras.
Okay.
Not all, most. Is just what Brian was saying. That's what I was saying. If you're monitoring the edge of a food plot and you can get your camera in the food plot, looking at the edge of it or into the shade, like if you got a tree line, it's going to do way, way better than if you're monitoring an area that's in open sun, because the sun is coming, we talk about east-west, but it's also mostly from the south in the summertime like this. So you're getting tons of exposure into that. So if you can be shooting toward a shaded area, toward a northern, a tree line that's getting that, it's going to be way better for your camera's performance.
Another reason that's good. Another reason that's good is for the lighting on the deer, and the light is behind your camera. So when the deer are looking at the camera, the sun is in the backdrop a lot of the times, not all the time, but if you're thinking about it from hiding your camera standpoint too, is you want the sun in their face when they're looking at your camera.
Just like when you're hunting.
Yep. Oh, well, that's a new unlock. There's too much shit to think about, guys.
I'll give some of it.
I can't
it's a lot. I'll try to give some of that a try. But like I said, it was just weird because it was doing fine before that.
Has it been in that spot before, Noah? That exact spot?
I've had other cameras, and they usually don't give me an issue at that spot.
I wonder if it could be that camera.
It could be a camera or just something went weird. Because like I said, it'd been in that plot for a month or a couple months, really, since I planted.
Could be summer stuff. I don't know.
And it wasn't like it was it wasn't like it was a gradual worsening. It was just one day I'm now starting to get 600 pictures.
Could be a defective camera then too.
I wonder how many support calls trail companies get for this kind of stuff, where it's like, well, where is it sitting? But that's good because then support can tell people, well, go change it, and yada yada. But good question.
Oh, I'm sure you get that all the time, you know.
Go watch Derek's video on our YouTube channel that he just put out. He covers this.
Yeah, I need to sit down and watch it.
It's good. I mean, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
To piggyback off of that,
thanks.
Like
Noah.
I've been finding out, because I never used to do a lot of postseason scouting in the winter, but these last year and a half, 2 years, I have. And you find those scrapes and stuff like that, those primary scrapes and all that good stuff. And then you go back in the summer, and half of those are in an area that aren't good for a summer trail camera. So you end up going to like plan B inside the woods in a crossing near that, because you have more shaded area. And maybe it sets up better on a tree or something. I found like a lot of times I'm going in there to that scrape and I'm like, well, this isn't going to work. It's too grown up and too bright right here. So it's never going to be a good location.
Do you want to tell us about your 2019 blunder? Did you catch that?
What happened?
Do you want to tell us about your 2019 blunder?
Oh. You talking about
crazy? And then all of a sudden,
what is the 2019 blunder?
Well, I want to hear about it.
Are you talking about me, right?
Yeah. Not me, not Derek.
You're wanting me to drop the thing that I sent you in the message thing, right?
Yeah. Stuff.
All right, so this is a Okayest Hunter exclusive interview. Okay.
Wait, is this when you told me to come down and hunt by you?
this is the shit heard around the world. Okay. So
the sky dump.
Okay, so there was a time way when I was younger where I was really crazy about scent control, right? And I would just go through some crazy stuff and get dressed at the truck, spray down, blah blah blah. And then I reached a point where about 2017, 2018 started getting away from all that and started really just hunting. But when I made the decision to start making all-day sits for a week at a time, I still couldn't get myself out of the mindset of shitting in a bedding area when I wanted to sit there all day. So I devised at the time, and it was a 1-year thing where I did this, and I devised the mobile shitting system. Okay. And what it was 2 Ziploc bags and some wet wipes and some gloves. All right. And my wife's going to kill me for ever letting this out into the public. Right?
Was this a kit?
Yes, I used to wrap it up and keep it all a kit away for shitting when I was on all day sits in bedding areas. Okay. And so the way the system worked is you put the rubber gloves on, right? And you take one of the bags out, and the other bag has the wet wipes in it, obviously. And then, for lack of a better term, you shit into the bag. Okay. And you haven't lived until you shit in a bag 20 feet up, right? So then you take that bag and
the first time you did this, were you pretty excited to try this out? You're like, all right, I finally got to take a shit.
He obviously did this before he came up with the idea.
Wait, no, I don't know. Let's hear. Did you?
No. The first time I did it was in a tree, and
what were you thinking at that moment? You must have been pretty excited.
It was pretty weird because it almost felt like I was doing something wrong. Like the first time I found a Playboy magazine or something, like who shits in a bag? Is there a lag?
No, you're good. We're just laughing at you.
Yeah. Okay. So the first time you do it, you're like, all right, this is weird, and I can't believe I'm taking it this far to deer hunt. But
the 18th time you do it, it's still weird.
But by like the 20th time, I was a pro at it. And so you shit in the bag, and then you obviously wipe with the wet wipes, and then you wipe everything down, and then you put it in the other bag, and then you take the gloves off, and now you seal it up, wrap it up, and get rid of it when you get down, right? And so if you guys have ever watched my 2019 public land redemption buck, when I kill that buck, so it had worked perfectly.
You ran right by your shit bag.
Do what?
He ran right past your shit bag.
Listen. So the first time that it had worked 20 times up until this point or whatever, and I was at like day 4, all day sit. I was going loony, and I end up doing it, and I set the bag down on the seat, and it falls down and flings shit all over the tree, all the way down, and lands at the base with the gloves and everything, right?
That's that Casey's Pizza.
Yes. And then when that buck comes in at 12:30 and he stops, I'm pretty sure the last thing he sees before I shoot him is my bag of shit.
There's shit everywhere.
And only for the okayest hunters as an exclusive,
thank you.
if you guys pause at just the right spot, I left it in the video where you can see the bag of shit when I'm getting down out of the tree. But you have to know about it to even know what it is.
Oh my God.
But you got the buck.
I got the buck, and anybody who wants to talk about scent control can kiss my ass, because I killed my biggest buck at that time with a bag of shit all over the tree and at the base of the tree.
So you have 2 bags. What? Wait, so why not just 1 bag? What's the second bag for?
So things get a little messy after a Casey's Pizza shit in a tree, buddy.
Thank you for pointing out the Casey's Pizza.
So hold on, I gotta do another screen share because a buddy of mine runs Wicked North company, and he made this kit called Nature Calls Kit. Everything you need.
Does he have 2 bags?
Individual roll of toilet paper, large pre-moistened wiping towelette, hand wet wipe, single glove, and a waste bag. 5-piece kit to go shit in the woods.
He's not hunting mature bucks with that kit. I can tell you that.
I think someone he saw that video and he was like,
I'm gonna trust Brian on this.
He's like, I saw that guy's poop in the bag, and I think I could do a better job.
That's a doe and young buck killing kit right there.
Yes, thank you. 1 bag, oh, classic. You want to shoot a forker?
He needs to make a mighty buck bag.
mighty shit bag.
Listen, hey, from somebody who has perfected the craft of shitting from a tree, I'm here to tell you, the second bag is vital, because you have to wipe off the first bag with the wet wipes, and then put it all in there and put it into the clean bag.
Interesting. I mean, I feel like at this point, have you ever had your dog shit and you're like, I'm gonna fucking get this poop before it even hits the ground? I feel like that's essentially what you're fucking doing.
An efficient
You're just in that bag, just come on, and then you just rip it inside out and you just drop her. I would have made that efficient with 1 bag.
But Eric, remember, no one knows about being a shit bag like in Illinois.
Do you know how much poop I would have in my hands? I can't even wipe my fucking ass in the toilet paper without fucking something up. And I'm like 38. Like, this is why old men talk about poop, because it's the highlight and low light of their day all in the same time. Did you have a bowel movement today? Oh, let me tell you what the fuck happened in the bathroom, Frank. It didn't go well today. Why you got a hand sanitizer? Well, you fucking know what? I got shit on my fingernail.
I snuck up on my coworker the other day and real quietly was like, "Hey, bro," I was like, "I got something I have to get off my chest." I was like, dude, I had a 3 flusher, bro. And he looked at me like I was the fucking biggest idiot he'd ever looked at.
I clog my toilet on a regular basis.
I thought you were going to say something totally different, because in college, we lived across from a guy whose girlfriend shit on his chest. He said, I got to get something off my chest. I thought you were going somewhere totally different with that. Thank goodness, Mama Douglas.
I was going to say, I didn't know what kind of podcast this was. If we're going to go into sex stories, this could be real interesting.
Not me.
We're not brought to you by Quick Trip yet, okay?
We won't be brought to you by Quick Trip ever.
Or anybody.
After this.
So anyway, you guys have to go to the public. If you can, get on the screen, go to the video right after the shot, and you can pause and see the bag of shit.
What's the title of that one again?
Redemption. 2019 Public Land Redemption.
Redemption.
Or it's just Public Land Redemption.
I've just gone back. I think I sent Brian a shot of me watching it in my basement, but I just went back and rewatched all of Brian's videos on his YouTube. They're great videos. If you guys have not checked out the videos from his public land hunting, go check them out. They're really good. Brian does a great job self-filming. Self-filming is so freaking hard.
It's a pain in the ass.
And Brian does a really nice job at it. Go check out his video. Show him some love.
First one from 4 years
buddy.
ago.
That's what I appreciate hearing that. But my Achilles heel, and another reason why I'm getting away from hill country is because of the main angle stuff. A lot of times those deer pop up on me at 60 yards and I don't have time to get my main angle and don't want to make any movement. So I end up just getting that 360 footage.
Which is great. That's why you have it, right? Like, I mean,
yeah. That's exactly why I have it.
I'm shooting mostly just my main angle camera. And that's why I've just been so frustrated with it. And I never wanted to film. Like, so I've never wanted to film. I've just been asked to film by Bo.
Why didn't you call this episode Good Shit Mobile?
So when I was first starting out, I really didn't want to turn off all of the like what I thought was the hunting.
You need to go back
viewers
and relabel that one.
Remember, YouTube blocks out the red blood trails, but not the brown shit trails.
April Fools, Good Shit Mobile here coming at you.
So that was actually the joke when I made it good sit, was like that I shot my biggest deer over a pile of shit. So
I like it.
Wait, was that your biggest deer, or is that your biggest?
Or was
deer?
at the time?
That was at the time.
Because you're the last one not the last one. You shot 2 huge ones last year, but the one you shot the year before that was your biggest one, right?
Yeah, last year I shot 2 really good ones, and then the year before was the one that you dragged out was the biggest.
Yeah, because that one was colossal.
So, but now
I'm so glad I got to do
now
that.
that you're prestiging, you're going for Smedium bucks.
Smedium.
Well, I'm actually still going for big bucks, but I'm going for whatever's mature in these areas. That I don't know what the genetics look like in these other areas.
Yeah. Boy, let me tell you, I'm just after whatever. And having not run trail cams or cell cams for, I think I ran a cell cam once 3 years ago.
Kids are home.
Or a dog just fell off of a couch.
Or a kid.
I don't know.
Down the stairs. Either way.
Anyway, it's just not part of what I do. So that it really is exciting for me, because in anything I see, I'm like, game on. It's really, it keeps the excitement levels really high. I think if you're running cams, you're expecting to see certain things. Or
that's the number one thing cameras do,
cool.
is they just change your expectations, which can be good, but can be really bad too.
I mean,
I attribute it to like roosting a turkey versus just going out and listening to where one's gobbling. Like, I had never roosted a turkey until this year, and I'd never been more excited to go turkey hunting, knowing that I at least had a good shot that a bird was going to be in a spot where I could kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, but I've killed for 20 years. I've killed birds just going in there and listening and going after them, and it's a lot of fun. But I don't know, man, it added something to, I always thought of myself as like, oh, I don't have to roost them. I don't need decoys. But I went and roosted that one, and it made it like I couldn't sleep the night before, almost like it was opening day of deer season.
That's kind of cool. I still don't have that effect from turkey hunting. Would you shoot that deer if you got on trail cam? As is?
That deer?
Mm-hmm.
Are you joking?
I'm not. No, I don't know. Is it not?
Are you joking me?
I mean, are bonita fish big?
I mean, it's a trophy fish. Yeah. Damn,
yeah.
That buck.
But like, if you had a
cubes.
Listen.
I am not an inch hunter. The number one buck I've ever wanted to kill in my life was a 6-pointer.
If you had a really,
he was a huge 6.
If you had
a
buck on trail cam that you were like, this is the one I'm hunting this year, and then that one showed up, would you jettison the former and go for the latter?
I don't do singular buck hunting seasons.
But knowing there's some, and like you're hoping for that one in that area.
Yes.
And then this one walks in. Would
I shoot that? Yes, 100% every time.
Okay.
Every day.
We're looking at this strong. I call it, use my strong hand.
This is bigger than this is bigger than almost every buck in my basement.
It's hard to prop back up there, but if you
it's bigger than almost every buck in my basement. You asked me if I'm going to shoot it.
Well,
yes, please.
I found this one gun hunting last year, and I was really pissed that it was already dead. It was the literal spot I was gonna.
It's got like what is it? The scary movie tiny hand. Like,
you hold
let me stir that up for you.
It looks like it's just a deformed drop time.
Oh, let me get that for you.
Like scary movie.
Like, look at that. Yeah, like scary.
It's like the way it grows out. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's a badass buck, man.
That's probably a 4-year-old here in Wisconsin.
I was gonna say it's all relative to the areas. That's what I was saying about those other areas. Is if you went to Pennsylvania and shot a 150, that's like shooting a 190 here,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that one would score probably similar to this one if you were scoring it. I don't actually know though, because of that weird drop time.
The score.
I only say score to like just understand.
No. I get it.
I don't give a shit. I don't know.
I had, and we talked about it before, but there was a 6-point buck up in the Nicolay National Forest that I hunted for 5 seasons. I saw him 4 different times. Never got a shot at him. Got close during bow. He ended up disappearing one year, but I never wanted a deer that bad in my life.
I think it'd be cool to be like, oh, that's the one.
He had 6 points.
Yeah.
He was 20 inches wide. His brow tines were each 12 inches, maybe more. They were 12 inches apart. So he ruled the area. He was the most badass buck. He's probably 250 pounds on the hoof, like dressed.
Big.
Huge. And the weirdest part about that buck is that's anybody who knows me, anybody who's hunted with me, any of my friends know the big 6 because I religiously hunted that deer. I've taken people.
So when we play that weird trade like card game about like who knows who better, I'll know what we're talking about now.
The big 6.
Yeah.
Dude, number one deer I've ever wanted to kill, the big 6. And the weird part was I hunted the area that buck used to live in. He vanished for a couple of years. Never heard anything. We couldn't figure out what happened to this deer. And I ended up hunting an area back a little bit further, but inside the swamp that he used to live in. And I shot a buck that night, hang and hunt in my saddle, shot a buck, really nice 8-pointer. He took off running. I waited till dark. I got out and I started walking this old skidder trail out. And I saw a flashlight coming toward me. I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, he's going the wrong way. We got like a mile and a half back to the car. And he goes, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, are you lost? And I was like, no, I was just hunting back here. I just shot a buck. He's like, where'd you come in from? And I told him where I came in from. And he's like, you serious? He's like, well, we got the private land right over here. He's like, I just walked, a mile in this way to get back here. You're walking back there. You come out to my place. I'll drive you back to where you came in.
God.
And I was like, are you for real? And he's like, yeah, we'll help you track if you want. He's like, what did it look like? And I was like, I don't know, 18, 19 inch wide 8-point. And he's like, I think I saw that one around 1 o'clock today. He was bumping a doe. I never got a shot at
cool.
it. Real nice buck. And he went down in the swamp. And I was like, well, I shot him in the swamp on a rub line. Okay. So go back to his cabin. His brothers are there.
This guy's thinking.
Turns out they've been hunting there forever.
Yeah.
That area. And we start talking. My parents are going to come help track. So I'm sitting there talking to these guys. And I said, hey, you guys never ran across a giant 6-pointer, did you? And they're like, oh, the big 6? And I was like, yeah. They're like, yeah, we hunted that guy for quite a while. And I was like, whatever happened to him? I was like, I hunted him forever, saw him a bunch of times, never got a shot. And they're like, oh, our neighbor, who barely ever comes up hunting, shot him on like Wednesday at gun season, trailing a doe. And I was like, good for that guy.
Yeah.
I was like, good for that guy. I was like, did you tell him like how big that deer was, like how old it was? And they're like, oh yeah. We told him, and I was like, it was good to get the ending to that story.
So you had some closure.
So it didn't matter, but like it was just good to know what happened.
Yeah,
because like, man,
otherwise you never know.
I really worked hard to like try to put trail cams, and it was way the fuck back. I worked really hard to try to get on that deer, and it taught me a lot. Hunting that deer taught me so freaking much, and he was elusive. It was hard to get there.
I dig that.
Yeah,
the big.
I had a 10-pointer that was like that I was after, that was only in the 140s, and
shut up. Only should slap you right now.
This deer was like 114.
You were here and slap.
Well, what I mean is, I ended up shooting that booner when I was chasing that 10. So there was like 30 inches of difference between the big one and him. So I was super happy with the booner, obviously, but I was chasing that 10 for 3-4 years in there. And I really would have been happy with him.
Yeah.
I've quoted this several times. Jared Scheffler said on the last Whitetail Adrenaline, I can never fucking say it. Whitetail Adrenaline. It just comes out faster than my brain will allow. Whatever the last season was this year. Uncuffed that I just bought at the trade show. He said, the cameraman had asked, are you going to shoot this big one? What are you going to do if it's a different one? Like I just asked you. And his response was, I'll shoot whatever if the hunt gets me excited, I'll shoot it or something like that. And I was like, man, what a great answer. if the hunt gets me excited, I don't care how big it is. It's the hunt.
I think that was
What a great quote. And
You've used that.
He wasn't trying to make up a fancy quote. He just said it that was his fucking answer. It's great.
I'm glad you use it all the time because that's such a good one. And I think that was the craziest thing about the big one I shot down in Illinois, which was 100% thanks to Bo Bilo, my good buddy. I mean, it's a permission property
Maybe
he has.
Fix my arm. Bo, if you're listening, fix my arm.
He let me hunt. Yeah, we need a PT sponsorship. ATI physical therapy, thank you. But he lets me hunt the property. They haven't had much on trail cam, which is normally this property during the rut is just it's river bottom. It's a long narrow along a river. Like it's normally freaking crazy. They haven't had much. They had a ton on their lease, so they were hunting the lease. He's like, yeah, I had a really nice 8-pointer. Hit the scrape. Go hunt that spot. So he shot a buck, walked me in, carried a decoy, put the decoy up. I climbed up a tree, a lone wolf stuff, and it was like, okay, I'm hunting this 8-pointer on private land. And like initially in my brain, I was like,
all right,
feels a little canned to me, but I appreciate the effort that he's putting in. And all of a sudden, I see no deer, not a single deer. 10:30, all of a sudden I see something off in the distance, and this deer comes limping in. And I'm like, God, that looks like a buck. And I'm trying to get on it, trying to get the camera on it. And all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, it's a nice buck. And he beds down. And I made the decision to get down and stalk. And it was the same thing. It was like, if the hunt presents itself and it gets you excited, it's like, if that was a smaller deer, that would have got me super excited still. Here it was the biggest deer I've ever shot in my life
to be a bigger
because
deer.
I was on this unbelievable property, thanks to Bo, because he let me on it. But it was like here to have the most incredible hunt of stalking in, waiting,
you
drawing your bow,
and were hunting in your socks,
and you stand there waiting for him to make a move, and he stands up perfectly in the opening. Like I called him, I was like, this felt divine. Like nothing ever works out easily for me. It always is like some hard, crazy bullshit.
There would have been the perfect shot for me, and I would have whipped
God
it.
wanted me to shoot this deer.
100%.
There's no other thing that could have been. I was meant to shoot this deer.
Yeah.
There's something to that though, man. Because when it works out, it almost feels like there was divine intervention for real.
Yeah, it was a weird feeling. It was just like, I don't know.
I didn't have enough time to consider that for this one here, but the fact that it worked out, I called you right away.
Yeah, you did.
I called you, Derek, and Isaac, and my dad, and I was like, I mean, I don't know, and I didn't have enough experience to know what I was dealing with. And based on the information I shared, we all decided to just leave it for a while, and it turns out it died pretty quickly. Like it didn't.
But it was still dead when he got there.
Yeah,
that's always the rule, right?
But it all worked out, and I was in disbelief until I came up on it. Even when I came up on it, I was like, I couldn't believe that was the deer that I shot, because in my mind it felt different.
And it was huge.
Because I saw him from such a distance with these very shallow beams.
Yeah.
And so in the distance, I just thought it was like big 6 or something, and I didn't think much of it. So I even told my dad. He was right down the road hunting a different property, and I was like, "Man, I think I got a nice 6 or something." And he gets up to it, and I think it might be on video. He's like, "That's not a 6." He's like, "What'd you do here?"
And the video, like right over Eric's head, you can see that buck that he shot. That was the fun one. I was driving back from Illinois.
Oh yeah,
with my buck that I just
we were both on cloud 9.
It was like the next day.
Yeah,
I was driving back, and you called me. You're like, I just shot a buck. Holy shit! And it made my 5-hour drive feel like it was 45 minutes. But like that's one of those bucks. And Brian, I don't know if you can't see it from the side, but from the side, Eric's buck here would look like
didn't look like
any normal little buck.
Like the tines on that one are
the beams
almost
go
taller.
out; they don't go forward. So like it looks like nothing, but it's one of those ones that when it looks at you, you're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I was just about to say he's got a hell of a spread, and he's got some brows that are bigger than his 2s, man. Those are crazy.
Yeah,
he was rubbing up a tree, and then I panicked and shot, but it worked out. So it just happened to work out.
It was very cool.
But he was aggressive. I remember. Of course, I've told the story several times, but there's all this grunting going on. So of course I'm like, this is where the memes come from. Real life fucking experience. I was I think that was the
Were you
season.
shitting in a bag?
That was the
one bag.
season-
Were you one
Yeah,
bag in
I
it?
was one bag in it. That was
Oh, he's one bag in it.
that was the season where
That's how you know somebody's a novice if they're just one bagging it.
I did the scene from Super Troopers. I'm freaking out, man, because there's something going on all over me. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. And so now I'm like getting on my ground too, like I'm like doing all this stuff, thinking like this is gonna happen. The doe comes in, and I'm like, holy shit, the doe just came in.
And then
the buck's gonna be right behind her.
You
and then I
know.
look, and this fucker is just across the river watching this unfold. Like he heard all the action. When he saw the doe, it was like the affirmation he needed. And then he jumped in the river, crossed, and like went nose down and went after it. And then when he popped out, then I shot him. It was fucking amazing. Like,
That's the moment when you told me the story. Like the new series that I'm working on, that I'm recording the first one tomorrow.
yes.
For dropping pins,
Yep.
the podcast. Brian signed up to do it. I'm gonna get him on there. But like when the pull away I took from your story was the fact that there was a buck chasing a doe on your side of the river, grunting and causing a ruckus. Young buck.
Yep.
Right?
Well, I never saw the other one.
But
So,
he was
but who knows?
making noise.
Yeah.
This one you said came across on the other side and stood on the other side. How long did he stand there for?
He stood there for a few minutes, just watching and listening.
That's what big deer do.
Yep.
And Brian can probably confirm this. Big deer will stand in one spot for 10, 15.
Just to
I've seen even
validate.
20 minutes.
Really? This is new
Listening,
information
watching,
for me.
smelling, just going, is this what
Real.
I think it is? Is this what I need it to be? Is this safe? And then they move. When you told me the story and you said he stopped and he stood there, then all of a sudden he crossed. I was like, well, once
I
he
didn't even
crossed, you
notice
know
him.
it's
I
game
just
on.
happened to like be like
It's game
scanning the
on.
area, and I was like, that's a buck. Wait, there's a buck just standing there. He looks decent. And so then the doe came out and she busted me. Like you can see it on film. You can see her bust me, and everyone's like, "You ruined it for yourself, Eric. Like, what were you thinking?" I was like,
She was on
at this point. I was watching the big guy across the river.
She was on the best spot to ever bust you too, because she was between you and the river.
Yeah.
So no matter what way she ran,
Didn't
you
matter.
were gonna get a shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's the best place
And there
ever.
was so much chaos happening that the guy across the river, he didn't figure anything out. I happened to be in a good. I picked the right fucking tree for a change.
Picked the right tree. You made a good fucking shot.
Yeah. Sometimes it works out, and then you wonder like, how the hell did this work out? Because last season I could not get it together on deer bigger than this one. I was just losing everything was right except for the thing I needed for it to be done. And that's frustrating when you're out there doing
How
it.
it goes every year.
But it is what it is. Good sit, Brian. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
By the way, you're with Good Sit Mobile, which makes really great fucking products, which we didn't talk about at all because I think you've done that dog and pony show enough times.
Yeah. I was gonna say I wanted to just have some fun. I've done all the tactical talks and talked about the products, and I was just hoping to have a little bullshit session tonight. So we I think we achieved it.
And for those that don't know, the Dropping Pins series, episodic, whatever, is I think will illuminate tactics and strategies and things of that nature. And, but the point of it is talking about when did it change for you? Like when did it click? When did it make sense? When did the pieces start to come together? And let's talk about that. And I think that'll be the cusp of it, and it'll go for wherever it goes from there. And Derek's going to lead that because
we're ideally going for story based. So like Eric's story just told,
there's a
that
learning
buck
moment.
that's standing. We're hoping for some story based stuff. Brian is going to be on there. Whatever moment that really helped shape his, like, oh, I realized mature bucks do this when I saw this. I noticed this. I experienced this. That's what we're going for there. And like we just said, tonight was not a tactical talk. If you want to hear some great hill country tactics, look up Brian Douglas on any, Spotify. Brian's got a wealth of knowledge. He knows what he's doing. Look up his YouTube, Good Sit Mobile. He's got a ton of great videos on there. His products for hanging trail cameras are phenomenal. I use them. Eric's using them.
The bungee for the Latitude 6 are great.
The bungee for the sticks.
I got a GoPro thing you just sent me.
GoPro mount. I use the GoPro mount also. I use the trail camera stuff. Like, just look him up. You'll find it. Tonight's was not necessarily an endorsement for his stuff, but he's been on here before talking about it. Just look it up. You'll find it. But thank you, Brian, for coming on and just having a BS session with us. And I'm excited to get you on for the dropping pins segment. So come up with a story or two that really kind of made you realize or think, or things dawned on you for
let's make
when
you sound really douchey about when you figured out hill country.
Just shit in a bag, double bag it, you'll kill buck.
No, hill country was when I shit in a double bag. No,
so like I feel like that story is the anti John Eberhart. Like
the bag is wide open and it still worked.
Was it a Ziploc bag?
Yeah. Like I was 15 foot up, shitting in a bag with no scent lock and 0 scent spray.
So when you went
shit covering the tree,
your finger right by your anchor point, were you just sniffing shit?
I had a bunch of more stories that had to do with it, but we'll save them for another time.
And that is how I stayed focused. Just sniffing shit.
There is one more that I have to tell that goes along with that before we end.
Please.
So in between the booner, and I killed that that other nice deer like 3 days before I killed the booner, right?
Yep.
And so you would think from the outside looking in, like, oh, this guy's got a pretty good grasp. This guy kind of knows what's going on, right? And in between that, I had a hunt that was an okayest hunt of all okayest hunts, like the blooper reel. And at one point now instead of shitting in the bag, I do the sky dump with the 2-panel latitude saddle. And I have a whole system that we could go into another time with my 0.5 and all that. I have like the shit shelf and all that stuff. But basically, again, usually I have a pretty good...
Here
you
in
gotta
Wisconsin,
make a sky dump sticker, a shit shelf, and a 2-bagger.
I've never heard of a
those
shit
stickers
shelf.
are gonna be your bundle pack that gets people to give you your email address.
That's how you get your next one.
Yeah.
But I just want to point out, here in Wisconsin, we just hold our shit till we're done hunting.
Not me, dude. It's like the moment I get to the woods, I gotta go. I'm notorious for it. It's like
I have explosive shits in the woods, dude.
Never shit upwind of your setup if you're gonna take.
But
yeah, that is advice. Fuck the deer. Just don't make yourself smell it.
No.
But so on that one, I took a shit and I misread like where it was gonna fall, right? And it covered like my sticks. It covered the tree.
No.
And then when I got down, I like landed my boot in my own shit.
Pack your gear up, dude. Like when you're got shit, like I'll be like worried that I'm pissing on stuff half the time.
I almost shit on you guys' grunt tube one time and my hat. So anyway, I was heading back from
Are you
that.
just shitting or hunting? Like, what are we talking about here?
Mostly number two issues here.
I'm just having lots of poops in the
Fuck
woods.
the thermals. I have to shit. I need a shit shelf.
Stop
Hey,
drinking. What coffee? Are you a coffee guy or an energy drink guy? What are you sipping on?
So in the morning, I always have a protein shake ready, and then
That's what it
creamy
is.
shits.
That's
right
what
there.
it is.
Yep. And then I'm drinking a coffee in the morning and then energy drinks throughout the day, like the clean energy without the taurine, without the sugar.
I don't know what those are, but I'm interested. You should check out if you can subscribe to our coffee. We have Swamp Donkey Dark Roast and Shooter Buck Light Roast, and we just redesigned the printing, like the labels on the bag. They're not in production yet because I'm waiting for one more change, but I mean, you can go buy them now, and the labels suck because I designed them, and I'm a hack. You can see one sitting there, but
You're pretty good.
yeah. But if you see the new ones, you're like, oh yeah, that's different and better. Like it makes sense. Swamp Donkey, dude, it's good. It's from a roaster. It's Our Grounds Coffee. Ed Speakman is his name. He's out of PA, and he roasts out of his basement. But he like drives 2 hours to get this fucking coffee. That's like.
He's got like a
really good.
legit roaster set up in
yes.
his bay. Like he had a.
So you're supporting a local
legit.
business. It's not like we're just,
A knockoff.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
You guys are not out there making the beans and farming the beans and then all that stuff, though, right?
You guys gotta let me
We're
know.
just worried that there's deer hunters shitting on our beans from so we want to leave that to
But
somebody
the
else.
slogan of the Swamp Donkey is it's guaranteed to get things moving in the morning.
And that
we're
will.
not talking about the deer per se. So, it sounds like you have no trouble with it.
Well, so at the end of that story, I walked up and met two guys that I knew that hunt that area at a trailhead, and I have shit all over my stuff, and I didn't want to tell them hey, don't come too close because I smell like Dookie, dude.
So you're like, oh, dude, that's pretty funny.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, why does it smell so bad over here?
Not gonna lie,
That's me.
I've actually walked, in your area, especially Brian. I've actually stepped in horse shit on purpose
That's
to
the
walk
thing. People do that, right?
to do a little cover scent.
Yeah.
Which doesn't exist.
I've killed some big deer right by the horse trails, like 60 yards off the horse trails before.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna show you guys this thing here.
But everybody else should hunt at least 300 yards from the horse trails, please. That's my number one. Please don't go near the horse trails.
So, them deer, I've actually watched deer when I was dragging a deer out. I went up way ahead and somebody else stayed back with the deer, and a big buck and a doe came down after I left and walked past and came back down onto that horse trail. All they did was sat up there and waited till I left.
No shit.
Yeah.
Some guy shot a horse bow hunting in Wisconsin, the Kettle Moraine, a couple years ago.
He's probably from Illinois.
Who the fuck shoots a horse?
He's a fib.
He's probably from Illinois.
Dude, it's a fib. There's the old
Goddamn
design.
fibs.
The old design.
Shooting the
That's not
fucking horses.
But you see how we got the toilet paper right next to it? That was intentional.
I see that.
I'm gonna send you guys a shitting system, a tree stand shitting system.
Please do.
You're gonna send me some Ziplocs?
Yep. With some wet wipes.
Dude Wipes should be sponsoring
Brian, don't
this
waste the
episode.
postage. I'll be down to see
This
you
episode's
within a
brought
month.
to you by Dude Wipes. It's not.
I don't
It
want
should be.
dudes touching my ass. I want Brian touching my
Oh gosh. You said,
I
you almost shit on the grunt tube?
I feel uncomfortable in my studio all of a sudden.
your studio.
Your car. Oh man, good stuff. Well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You got to make the Sky Dump sticker thing. You got to just do it.
Yeah, I'm also going to make a sky dump video here. I'm going to force myself to do it. I'm going to do the perfect sky dump.
Is there going to be action?
It's just gonna have to have that like that box of like the blur.
Yes, and when the turds drop, it's going to be covered up in blurry stuff.
There you go.
Make sure you eat a lot of Casey's pizza right before you do that video, so it can be legit.
That'll be a slogan, yeah. Like Casey's will come across the bottom as the shit's dropping.
Hey, you might be wearing a Casey sweatshirt next time we talk to you.
Recall it. That's not just no longer in production. This thing gets so dirty, covered in shit. It's all just white. I already have stuff on the shoulder for my
Dude,
toys.
I don't even
what
work
the
because I was so
I'm
scared
worried
of
to
it.
wear it. Like, yeah, like
I got
what's
kids.
this? You know, I don't even
Oh,
have marshmallows or something. They can't come off. My kids are wiping their nose on my shoulder. I'm like, you're 4. Can you stop doing that?
You're 8. Can you stop it? You're 18.
What are you
Can you
doing?
stop it?
Gosh. All right, man. Well, we're gonna end this live broadcast, this shit show. I'll play some music to fade it out. Let's everyone that
Hopefully you guys still have a show after this one.
No, we never do.
It's gonna be tough.
Is this working? Is this the right one? That's not what I want. No.
God damn it.
Eric, he plays cricket,
You're fired, dude.
which is perfect.
I'll just bye now.
Play the normal one. There you go. Jesus.
This is the one I want. I
Brian,
can't
we're
figure
working
out
with
what
amateurs. When you go on the podcast with me, you'll also be working with a major amateur.
That guy ain't sky dumping with me for sure.
I can sky dump with the best of them.
If at some point this fall we could sky dump together on the same tree, that'd be really magical.
My kid, we had the South
Whenever
Park-
I go with my cousin Brian, I always make him turn around when I'm sky dumping. So
Oh yeah, I don't want to see that. My kid had to. He's like, oh, I gotta puke, and then he didn't have to puke. He had to diarrhea shit. And my wife's like, it flew out of his ass like a fire hose as he's standing there waiting to puke. Wrong end, buddy. The bathroom was not great after that. This just happened. Like we're at the zoo and he's puking in fucking trash cans
Oh,
like a drunkard. It's just stomach bug just ripped through our house. It's terrible. I didn't get it though.
Ashley had stomach bug last week.
It's gross. You don't want to be sky dumping with the diarrhea. You're gonna spray everything.
That's why they make it mesh.
Yeah, do you have to wash your saddle?
Sorry.
Is it washable? Anyway, have a good night, everybody.